Hi viewers, this is Madhu Dharmapuri. Welcome to our channel Passionate About Physics. In this present video lecture, I am going to explain about the magnetic field produced by current carrying coil and calculate the magnetic field on the axis of a circular coil carrying current. And I am going to calculate this magnetic field using Biot-Savart's law. Because I am going to use this, what I suggest you is, in one of my previous video lectures, I have already discussed about Biot-Savart's law. If you have not watched it, do watch it so that it is going to be easy for you to understand this class. We knew that every current is a source of magnetic field. So since some current is flowing through a current carrying coil here, it also produces magnetic field, and we are going to find out how much it is on the axis of the loop. So since we are going to use Biot-Savart's law to find out this, let us recap our knowledge on Biot-Savart's law. What is this law? This law will help us to find out the magnetic field at a point nearby a current carrying wire due to small element in that wire carrying current. Remember, the magnetic field nearby a current carrying wire due to a small element in it. It does not give you the value of magnetic field due to entire current carrying wire. It gives you the magnetic field due to a small current element from that wire at a point P nearby it. Okay, so here this is a wire carrying I current, and I have considered a small current element or length element dl from that current carrying wire, and the magnetic field at a point P due to this current element dl, which is at distance of r from it, would be this, the magnitude mu naught I dl sin theta by 4 pi r square. I is the current passing through this wire. dl is the length element that we have considered, and r, small r, is the distance of that point P from that length element, and theta is the angle between that length element and the vector that is along the line joining between dl and P, the length element and the point P where we are finding the magnetic field. That is this r bar. R bar equal to r cap. What is r cap here? It is the unit vector along the line joining dl to P. So this is the magnitude of the magnetic field at this point P due to the small current element dl. So Biot-Savart law is always used to find out the magnetic field due to small elements, small current elements, not due to entire current carrying wire. This is very important. So to predict the magnetic field direction at this point P, we use our right hand by pointing our right hand thumb in the direction of current, and keep curling your fingers in such a way that the fingers direction, your four fingers direction, will give you the direction of the magnetic field. So since the point is on this side for this wire, the magnetic field here would be inwards because the current is going upwards. So dB here is inwards at this point P. So usually you make use of a right hand thumb or right hand rule to predict the magnetic field direction at this point P. But to predict the magnetic field direction more accurately, it is always better to use the vector form of this Biot-Savart law. How this is going to help us to find out the magnetic field direction is, if you see this equation, the vector form of this Biot-Savart law, that is mu naught I by 4 pi dl cross r cap by r square, or mu naught I by 4 pi dl cross r bar by r cube, where r bar is r cap. So both of these formulas are same. If I substitute in place of r bar as r cap, again I will get this. And if you expand this cross product, for example, dl r sin theta, and that r will go cancel with this cube and we'll get r square in the denominator, and you will get the same formula as here. Ideal sin mu naught ideal sin theta by 4 pi r square, if you expand this cross product. So this is the vector form of the magnetic field, the vector form of the Biot-Savart law, the magnetic for the magnetic field. So if you carefully observe this equation, the dB will be perpendicular to dl, as well as dB is perpendicular to r bar. So the magnetic field direction is always perpendicular to the small length element that we have considered, and it is also perpendicular to the line joining that length element and point P. Okay, so this is very, very important. We are going to use this to find out the magnetic field direction more accurately. You can use either this or this. Either you can make use of your right hand, as I have shown, or you can also use this, but this gives you more accurate direction for the magnetic field than the earlier one, using right hand rule. Okay, so with this knowledge on Biot-Savart law, let us now calculate the magnetic field produced by a current carrying coil on the axis of that coil. Okay, so for this is the current carrying coil that I have considered, through which I current is flowing. Okay, hose radius, because it is a circular loop or circular coil, its radius I am taking as small a. And our aim here is to find out the magnetic field on the axis of it, anywhere on the axis. For example, if this is the axis of this circular loop, I am going to calculate the magnetic field at this point P, and point P is on the axis. How to imagine this? In this lecture, you are going to imagine many things. Without your imagination, you are not going to understand this lecture. Okay, so for example, consider this as a current carrying coil or loop through which some current is flowing, and I am going to find out the magnetic field on the axis of this loop. So this is the axis of loop, the loop, and the point P is lying on this axis. The P can be anywhere. So this is the axis of this loop or coil, and P is here somewhere on this axis. Okay, and imagine the current is flowing through this circular coil. If I look from this direction, the current looks like it is flowing in the clockwise direction from here to here. If I take this edge as my left side and this edge on my right side, so it looks like it is flowing in the clockwise direction, the current. But if I consider this as this side and this edge on this side, it looks like anti-clockwise direction. So depending on your imagination, the current seems to be either clockwise or anti-clockwise flowing through the coil. And you have to be more careful while predicting the direction of this current, whether it is flowing through coil in the clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, because the magnetic field direction will depend on the direction of the current. If your prediction on the current direction is wrong, then the magnetic field direction will go wrong. So magnetic field direction is depending on the current direction in the coil. So for now, what I am going to assume is this side of this loop is on my left side, so this side, and this side of the loop is on my right side. So I am imagining from like this. Now what is the direction of the current? The current is flowing like this, so clockwise direction. The current is flowing in the clockwise direction, and its radius is small a. And the point P, where I am going to find out the magnetic field on the axis, is exactly at a distance of small x from the center of this coil. The center of this coil is considered as O, and from that O to the point P, where I am going to find out the magnetic field, the distance is small x. Okay, now to find out the magnetic field at P, first let us find out the magnitude of the magnetic field at P, then concentrate on the direction. Okay, so if you want the magnetic field at point P, according to Biot-Savart law, what you want? You have to consider a small length element out of this circular coil, and from that small element you have to take the distance of that point P, that is small r. So for that, what I am doing, so I am considering a small length element dl here, through which I current is flowing in this way on the top of this coil, and the distance small r is from dl to P. The distance small r is from dl to P. So this is small r. Okay, distance is to be taken always from small length element dl to the point P, where we are finding the magnetic field. So this is very, very important. And from this triangle we can say r is a square plus x square. You can take this as r is a square plus x square under root. Okay. Now what is theta from Biot-Savart law? Theta is the angle between dl and r bar. dl and r bar. What is r bar? R bar is a vector along the line joining dl and P. So this is a r bar vector, and dl is here. So what is the angle of that between dl and r? This is going to be crucial here. How to find out the angle between dl and r? So again imagine this is a current carrying coil, and current is flowing from this side to this side in the clockwise direction, as I am showing here. Okay, and the length element that I have considered is here. This marker pen is, assume it as some dl. The length element, small length element dl, I have considered on the top of this current carrying coil. And what is the current direction here? Outwards, because the current is flowing like this in the clockwise direction from this side. The current is flowing this way. Okay, this represents that, for example. And dr, r bar will be like this, because this is the axis of the coil. P is here somewhere, and for that P you are taking R bar from DL. This way. Now if you see, wherever the point P lies on the axis of this loop, the angle between R and DL is going to be 90 degrees. You can see the angle between DL and R will be 90 degrees. It is just like here. The point, wherever the point P lies on the axis, because this is axis, the angle between DL and R is going to be 90 degrees everywhere. So the theta here, the angle between DL and R bar is 90 degrees always. Irrespective of position of point P on the axis. Okay, hope you have understood. So this is the length element, this is the axis of the circular coil, and my P is here. So for that P I am taking the line joining from DL. So this way. So if you see, the angle between this and this is always 90 degrees. Wherever the P lies, the angle between this DL and R will be 90. Okay, that's what I have written here. Okay, so if this is 90, what is the magnitude of magnetic field at this point P? According to Biot-Savart law, it will be mu naught I dl sin 90 by 4 pi r square, and sin 90 is 1. Since sin 90 is 1, mu naught I dl by 4 pi r square is the magnitude of the magnetic field at point P, which is on the axis, and r is the distance between point P and the small current element IDL or small length element DL. Then what is the direction of it? What is the direction of this magnetic field at this point P? We know that the magnetic field is perpendicular to DL, as well as magnetic field is perpendicular to R bar. Then how it is going to be? So this is circular coil and this is DL here, and R is here. This is R, 90 degrees between them, and the magnetic field should be perpendicular to DL as well as R. So the magnetic field is now in this way. This green marker pen is the direction of the magnetic field at point P. Now you can see this. This is perpendicular to R as well as DL. DB must be perpendicular to DL. DL is this. And DB must be perpendicular to R. R is this. So now what is the direction of magnetic field at this point P? This is 90 degrees with this dr, with this R, which means this is dB and this is 90 degrees. What is this direction? This is the magnetic field direction produced by a small length element DL considered here. Okay. So now let us try to calculate the magnetic field produced by another small length element dl taken here. Exactly opposite to this. Similar approach. And by symmetry I can take, this is again r equal to a square plus x square under root, and the angle between this and this again theta. You can see this. This is dl now, which is bottom of the circular coil, and this is r. And between r and dl it is always 90 degrees wherever the p lies on the axis. It's always 90 degrees between both, just like here I have explained. Now what would be the magnetic field? Again, because mu naught ideal sine 90 by 4 pi r square, using same expression for this element, and its magnitude will be again mu naught ideal by 4 pi r square, sine 90 is 1. And now the point here is the magnitude of the magnetic field produced at P due to this element and this element is same. The magnitude of the magnetic field produced by this small length element at point P and this small length element at point P is same magnitude, but the direction would be different. How it is going to be different? Now let us see. So if you concentrate on the bottom of this circular coil, the current is flowing like this, actually in the clockwise direction, and here it is going this side inwards, right? And this is our r is this, dl is this, and db at this point should be perpendicular to this and this, and here it is this way. The magnetic field produced by this length element at this point is directed this way. Why this way? You can use your right hand, for example. For this, the current is inwards, it is flowing like this, it is going inwards at the bottom. The current is like this. Then fingers, use your fingers like this. It is going, your fingers are going in this way, downwards. Your fingers represent the magnetic field direction, that is why it is here. Now for this, if you consider this, the current here is outwards, it is coming like this. Keep your fingers like this, and your fingers direction is magnetic field, like this. That is why it is up. So that is why I said, depending on the current direction, the magnetic field direction will change. The current here is going out on the top. Since the current is representing my thumb here, it is going out on the top of this coil, and the magnetic field direction is in this way. And here on the bottom of this coil, the current is going inwards. Here. And keep your fingers like this. And this. And make sure that magnetic field is always perpendicular to dl and r. In this way. So what is the magnetic field direction now at this point? So this is going to be this. With angle 90 degrees with this R, perpendicular to R. Okay, so here like this. Current is inside, the magnetic field is this. Perpendicular to R and DL or ideal. Here, in this way. The current is outwards, the magnetic field is this way. So depending on current direction, the field direction is changing. Okay, so this is 90. And now what I am considering, the angle here I am considering is small pi. With symmetry both will be same. This is a consideration. And I am drawing one normal to the axis of the loop. So this is the axis of the loop, and I am drawing one normal to this axis, perpendicular line. Now with this, so this is the axis, this is the axis of the loop, and this is pi and this is 90. What is this angle? What is this angle? For example, this is 90. Just concentrate on my fingers. This is 90. They are perpendicular because this is a normal line drawn to this axis. This is 90. If this is 90, what is this? This will be 90 minus pi. The angle between this and this will be 90 minus pi. If this is 90 minus pi and this is 90 and this is going to be pi, the total 90, this is 90 minus pi, this is going to be pi. Similarly here, this is 90 and this should be 90 minus pi. And if this is 90 minus pi, this should be pi. Because this R and dB are perpendicular, so this and this should be equal to 90. So this is how we can write angle pi. Okay, so this is pi. Why this is 90 minus pi? It is because this is 90 and this is pi, this is 90 minus pi. And why this is pi? Because this and this are perpendicular to each other, so this total is 90 actually. So that this and this should be 90. This is 90 minus pi, so this should be pi. So this is how you have to calculate the angles. Okay, so now you know that this angle and this angle is pi. Let me draw it here. So this is the normal, this is the axis, this is dB with pi here, this is dB with pi here. Just this picture I have drawn here, pi dB, this is axis. Now, if this is dB making an angle pi with the normal and this is dB making an angle pi with the normal, what is its component? This side it will be dB cos pi and this will be dB sin pi, the x component, y component. Wherever the angle, the side of the angle will go for cos. Now if you see, this is dB and this will be dB cos pi again for this, and this will be dB sin pi again in the same direction. For this, so what is this dB cos pi? This dB cos pi is the component of the dB in this direction due to this element dl. And what is this dB cos pi? This dB cos pi is component of this dB in this direction due to this element. Similarly, dB sin pi and dB sin pi are in the same direction due to both elements. For this element dl is dB sin pi here, and for this element dl it is dB sin pi here. Now if you observe these values, this dB cos pi and this dB cos pi, the magnetic field components due to opposite length elements are opposite to each other. This way, this going up and this going down. This dB cos pi is due to this element and this dB cos pi is due to this element. And dB sin pi, if you see, the dB sin pi of both elements are in the same direction along the axis. For this it is this, and for this also it is this. Now the vertical components will cancel each other. If I consider the magnetic field due to entire current carrying coil at point P, if I want to find out the magnetic field due to entire current carrying coil at this point P, the dB cos pi components will cancel with each other wherever you take. For example, if this is the dl, this dB cos pi is here, and exactly this kind of opposite element is here, and that dB cos pi is downwards opposite to this, they will cancel each other. But dB sin pi is, the components along axis are not cancelling due to these two elements, but dB cos pi's are cancelling each other. Similarly, if you take dl here for example, and due to this dl, the dB cos pi for example here, and exactly due, if I consider another dl component segment of this coil exactly opposite to this, again the dB cos pi will cancel with this dB cos pi. In this way, all the dB cos pi components will cancel with each other due to the length elements that we have considered on the circular coil, because they are opposite to each other, just like here. And dB sin pi components will not cancel, they lie on the same line, that is on the axis, which means the magnetic field at point P due to this current carrying coil, entire current carrying coil, is only due to the contribution from dB sin pi and not from dB cos pi, because they are cancelling each other. So now if I want the total magnetic field, the net magnetic field due to the net magnetic field at point P due to current carrying coil will be B equal to, instead of dB, because it is total coil I am considering, B equal to integral dB sin pi. Integral dB sin pi, I have to add up all these dB sin pi's and no dB cos pi because they are cancelling each other. One is plus and the other one is minus. So dB sin pi. What is this dB? This dB is this, the magnitude produced by one small element. Right? So now if I substitute that, I will get mu naught IDL by 4 pi r square sin pi, dB sin pi. Right? And what is sin pi from this picture? What is sin pi? This is pi. Sin pi, how do we write? This is opposite side, A is the opposite side, and this is the hypotenuse, R is the hypotenuse, and from here we can write that sin pi is A by R. Sin pi is A by R. So now we substitute this sin pi in this formula. Now what do we get? B will be, let me take this, B will be mu naught IDL by 4 pi r square. Sin pi is what? A by R. Right? And mu naught IDL A by 4 pi r cube, r square into r, and we know that r is a square plus x square under root. Substituting that we get, and taking everything out, the constant out of the integral, mu naught I by 4 pi r cube I can write as a square plus x square whole power 3 by 2 integral dl r cube. R is this, cube of this will be 3 by 2, and dl is the integral dl is means the circumference of this coil, the total length of this coil. Here dl is the only component which is changing. A is fixed, it is the radius of the coil. I is fixed, which is the current flowing through the coil. And R is the point, a square plus x square whole power 3 by 2, that is this. R is having a and x in it. A is fixed and x is fixed. The point that we have considered, P is fixed, x is not changing, and A is not changing, and hence R is not changing, and only dl is changing. If you consider this dl, and if you consider this dl, so integral dl will give you the total circumference of the circular coil that we have considered. What is the circumference of a circular coil? Its radius is small a, and circumference of this will be circumference of coil with radius a is equal to 2 pi a. So if I substitute 2 pi a here, what do I get? I will get this will as mu naught IA by 4 pi a square plus x square whole power 3 by 2 into 2 pi a. Integral dl is 2 pi a. Right? And if I cancel with this 2 pi and here writing 2, then we will get the final formula for this. The net magnetic field at this point P due to entire circular coil will be mu naught I a square by 2 into a square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. This is the magnetic field produced at this point P due to this circular coil, and P is on the axis of that circular coil. Okay, so what is this? This is magnetic field, net magnetic field at P on the axis of a current carrying circular coil. Circular coil, this, right? And if this current carrying coil has some n number of turns in it, 1 turn, 2 turns, for example, if the coil is very, very big, length of the coil, then if I turn it in this way, if there are n turns in the coil, then this formula would be, I'm wiping it off. The formula would be, if n turns are there, if n turns are present in current carrying coil, then B will be equal to mu naught NIA square by 2 into a square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. This, if there are n turns, if there is 1 turn, n will be equal to 1, and that is this. If there are n turns in the coil, this formula will be changing like this, NIA square. Right? So using this, now let us see one small special case with n equal to 1. Okay? Case 1, the magnetic field at the center of the coil magnetic field at the center of the coil whose radius is small a and some current I is flowing in this way. At the center of the coil means what? For n equal to 1, for 1 term, what is B? Mu naught I a square by 2 into a square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. And at the center of the coil, at center of coil, that is at O, how much is the magnetic field? At center of the coil, x is equal to 0, there is no x, because x is the distance between center and the point P, and x is equal to 0. And if I substitute x as 0, B will be mu naught I a square by 2 into a square whole power 3 by 2. X square is 0. And if that is the case, this square cancels with this 3 by 2, and mu naught I a square by 2a cube, which is nothing but mu naught, let me write here, B equal to mu naught I by 2a. So this is very, very important. What is the magnetic field at the center of the current carrying coil is this here, right? And case 2, the magnetic field at a point at infinity, P is somewhere and x equal to infinity. This is the radius of the coil, current is flowing. Magnetic field at a point on the axis at infinity, means x equal to infinity. P is very far from the center of the coil. If x equal to infinity from this formula, what do you get? X is substituted as infinity, and infinity plus something is infinity, and in the denominator you will have infinity. If it is infinity in the denominator, the magnetic field will be 0. At a point which is very far away from the circular coil, at infinity distance, the magnetic field will vanish. And remember, B at the center is the maximum magnetic field. Maximum magnetic field. And here it is minimum. What is its direction? Because I am taking the magnetic field current direction as this, it will be inverse. Here at the center, it is inverse. B is inverse here. For this case, depending on the current direction, the magnetic field direction will change, but the magnitude will remain same. Mu naught I by 2A. Okay. So by keeping this in mind, we can also write the magnetic field due to a small part of this current carrying coil, that is an arc. If I consider a small part, let me take keeping it as it is. So I am wiping off this. Case 3, because I am going to use this formula here. So case 3, where the magnetic field at the center due to arc, and this is the center, and this is some theta, and I current is flowing through this, and B due to circular loop is equal to B bar equal to mu naught I by 2A, and this is for 2 pi, because the total angle in a circle is 2 pi, for 2 pi. And if I want for theta, the B due to an arc, and that will be mu naught I by 2A into theta by 2 pi. This mu naught I by 2A into theta by 2 pi, where theta is to be substituted in radians. This is very important formula. So in the examination they will ask you like what is the magnetic field at the center due to an arc, what is the magnetic field at the center due to a semicircle also. We have not seen that yet. For example, if I want to find out the magnetic field at the center due to a semicircle, then it is going to be a case 4. Let me see that. So case 4. So the magnetic field at center due to semicircle. So like this is the center, that is O, and we have a circle here, semicircle. Some I current is flowing through that, and this is the radius of this. And for this, the magnetic field will be mu naught I by 2 pi into again theta by 2 pi. In general formula it is for any theta, and here theta is equal to half of the total angle of circular coil, that is pi. Then in that case it will be mu naught I by 2 pi into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. So that is, wait, mu naught I by, that is, it is not 2 pi, it is A, mu naught I by 2A. So it is half of the total magnetic field produced by a current carrying coil. The magnetic field due to a semicircle at the center is half of the magnetic field produced by a current carrying coil, that is this. So this is general formula. Mu naught I by 2A, theta by 2 pi can be used for any part of this circular coil. So depending on the theta, we can have a different formulas like this for semicircle, for an arc, for total entire circular coil, that is this. If it is semicircle, half of this. So using these magnitudes and direction of the magnetic field at the point P or at the center O due to a current carrying coil, we can make one most important point that we will see now. For example, consider a circular coil as we have taken in this example, and this is the center whose radius is A, and the magnetic field at point P we have noted down, and due to this element and due to this element we have considered dl and dl, and then we have integrated to find out the total magnetic field at this point P at a distance of x. Till now that is what we have done. And using our thumb rule and as well as the vector form of Biot-Savart law, we have seen that the magnetic field direction in this case is this, and the net magnetic field is in this way. You can say dB sin pi. Now what about the direction of the magnetic field on this side at the same distance? For example, the point is at the same distance from center O. Whatever the direction of this magnetic field, for that what we have to take? So the current here is outwards, because I have imagined a current like this flowing in this clockwise direction. If I am looking from here, so I am concentrating on this side. You can curl your fingers like this. The magnetic field here due to this element will be this. will be this. How it is this? For example, this is the DL and this is R. This is R, and the magnetic field due to this element will be this. Okay, so similarly, if you take this, the current is inwards here because we have considered this clockwise direction of current inwards, and the magnetic field this side is this. Okay, that is fine. And if you keep curling your fingers like this on this side, it will go this way. You can just do this. This side it is this way here, and keep curling your fingers like this in this way, so that here it will be going in this direction. And due to these two elements, or due to this entire circular coil, the net magnetic field will be this. Okay, what is the point here is integral dB sin pi, which is equal to B, is the total magnetic field at this point P or at this point P due to this current carrying coil. So dB sin pi components are there for each current element, and they are all in the same direction. If you see here, B is this, and here also B is this. Both are pointed in the same direction here on both sides. That means on either side of the current carrying coil, the magnetic field direction is same. That is very, very important. On either side of the current carrying coil, magnetic field direction is same. This is very, very important point. This we can also see for another current direction. For example, I am reversing the current direction like this, anti-clockwise. If I look from this side, this is O and this is A, and this is P and this is P at a distance of X. Now if you take this DL and this DL, here the clockwise direction. So now current I have taken in this direction, anti-clockwise direction. On the top the current is inside. On the top of this coil current is inside. Then what is the magnetic field direction here? It will be this side. Current is inside. Okay, and this is the R. This is R, and current will go this side. This way. This side. So here the dB is here. Now if you keep curling your fingers like this, in this way, here you will see that this way, in this direction it is going. So this is this, and consider this now. The current is outwards here on the bottom, current is outwards on the bottom, and the magnetic field is this way, so it is going this way, and it goes like this. This is dB and this is dB. Simple. It goes up. Here it is inwards, going like this, going up. And here the current is outwards, going like this, here. So the net magnetic field here, again this direction. This is dB sin pi, which means the B here is here and B here is in this way. Now what did you observe? The magnetic field present on either sides of this current carrying coil is in the same direction again. So for this current flow it is in this direction, for this current flow it is in this direction, but on either sides it is same. On either side of current carrying coil, magnetic field direction is same. You have to remember this. And we can express this point with a graph using the magnitude values of the magnetic field at the center as well as the point P at the distance infinity. So this I am taking it as x, minus x and plus x, and this is magnetic field on the x-axis, the magnetic field on the y-axis, B, and this is the axis of the current carrying coil, and P is lying anywhere on this line. Now at the center, what is the center? Mu naught I by 2A for center, which is maximum magnetic field, and B equal to 0 for x equal to infinity. This we have already seen, these two. Now using this, what we can draw is, at the center the magnetic field will go like this, maximum, and as you go away from the center towards infinity, it goes 0. So this value is B equal to mu naught I by 2A at the center. And as you go away from the center of the circular coil, x equal to infinity, it goes to 0. And on either side of this current carrying coil center, that side and this side, the magnetic field is on the positive side, for example. The same side. It is not taking this direction. Which means that the graph may represent, like for example, the graph may represent like this way, or if this is x and this is y, and this is magnetic field and this is x, and let me take here x and minus x, and this is center, and the graph may also look like this. This is center and this is B equal to mu naught I by 2A in a negative direction. The negative direction. And as x goes to infinity, the magnetic field will become 0. But on either side of this current carrying coil, the B is on the same side, same direction. Here it is in the same direction, here it is in the same direction, as I have shown you in the previous picture. on either side of the current carrying coil, the magnetic field is same. Okay, so till now in this lecture, what we have discussed using Biot-Savart law, we have discussed how to calculate the magnetic field at a point P which is lying on the axis of a current carrying coil. And magnitude and direction is discussed. And special cases like the magnetic field at the center of the current carrying coil, magnetic field at infinity distance from the center of the current carrying coil, and magnetic field due to an arc carrying current, magnetic field due to a semicircle carrying current. And finally, we have seen that the most important point, the magnetic field direction will be in the same way on either side of the current carrying coil. If this is current carrying coil, on this side current magnetic field direction and on this side magnetic field direction will be same, either this way or this way, depending on the direction of the current that you have taken in the current carrying coil. So if the current is, for example, on the clockwise direction, if the graph may be like this, or if the current is in the anti-clockwise direction, the graph may be like this, or vice versa. So depending on the current direction, we will have magnetic field direction. But on either side of this current carrying coil, that will be in the same direction, either this way or this way, either positive or negative. Okay, hope you have understood. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can put your doubts under the comment section. I will resolve it. Thank you.